Hi, I'm Jason Kishinev, and I'm running for Congress in the 5th District of California. My opponent, Mike Thompson, has recently voted for H.R. 953, which you can look up on www.congress.gov. This bill prohibits the requirement of permits before dumping insecticides, herbicides, and rodenticides into our navigable waterways. That means unrestricted amounts of poison affecting our rivers, lakes, and oceans. This is not the first time Mr. Thompson has voted for such a bill. He also voted in 2011 for H.R. 872, which was a very similar piece of legislation. In 2015, Mr. Thompson voted against an important ivory import ban, H.R. 2822, which obviously is needed to help protect the dwindling number of elephants and rhinoceroses in the world. The League of Conservation Voters website has all this information, by the way. In 2014, he voted for H.R. 3590, which weakened the Endangered Species Act to allow the importation of polar bear trophies from Canada and weaken the EPA's ability to regulate toxic lead in ammunition. A bill very similar to the one he voted for in 2012, H.R. 4089, which also would have allowed hunting in national parks. Now, why would Mr. Thompson vote in such a destructive and inhumane manner? Is he just a gun nut? No. Well, yes, Mr. Thompson does own a gun, and I presume he is a hunter, but there's more to this than that. If there's any lesson that I walked away with from the 2016 presidential election, it's the corrupting influence of big money in politics. And that's why I and other Green Party candidates refuse to accept corporate money. Because our loyalty should lie with you, the voters, and not with big money influences. Mr. Thompson has a pretty extensive history of voting against the environment. It's not just hunting related bills and the money he's taken from Safari Club International, a group that has been criticized by the Humane Society for supporting the hunting of endangered African antelope species at fenced game ranches in Texas and Florida, and for giving awards for hunting leopards, elephants, lions, rhinos, and buffalo in Africa. In 2014, he voted for H.R. 3370, which would have allowed the development of floodplains, destroying wetlands and forests, and undermining floodplain insurance reform. In 2011, he also voted against H.R. 2055, which to restore the Gulf Coast after the BP Deepwater Horizon spill. He also in 2011 voted against H.R. 2354, which would have allowed the Army Corps of Engineers to protect streams, headwaters, and wetlands. Now, if you take a step back and think about why such votes would come about, it comes down to money taken from Safari Club International, from the insurance industry, and possibly even from big oil. Harry Truman had a lot of faults, but one thing he said which is very relevant today is you can't get rich in politics unless you're a crook. Many of our officials have a net worth far exceeding their salaries and any possible investment income. They take money for speeches, which invariably influences their voting. This used to be illegal, but is now a legalized form of bribery. OpenSecrets.org places Mr. Thompson's net worth at just over $6 million as of 2015. Now I ask you this. Does it sound to you like this nearly 70-year-old winery owner worth at least $6 million and his disastrous environmental voting history is doing a good job representing you? When I am elected, I will always endeavor to put people and planet before profits. I will always strive to be able to listen to the voters of my district, not just hear them and send them on their way, but to listen. In 2018, I ask for your vote, and together we can take on the big money influences that are corrupting our government and gridlocking our Congress. In the meantime, as we all know, the revolution is not free. If you can, please come to my website at www.kishinev.org and donate what you can. Any amount will be appreciated. Or in the words of my friend David Cobb, give until it feels good. Thank you. I'm Jason Kishinev, and I approve this message.